Okay, you fivers. So we just wanted to touch on, well, this is episode number 2. We wanted to touch on one of the newsletters we wrote about this week about movement. We had a question on how many times per week we should exercise. And there's actually, there's many correct answers. Our default is to work up to 3 times a week of strength training or some kind of metabolic conditioning, meaning with just a fancy word for circuit training, if you really want to break it down like that. And that is normally or that's our typical advice for someone who we would consider a newbie, or maybe someone who is trying to restart their fitness journey, their fitness process. Simply because, at least with our clientele, I'd say a good 80% or more are going to be coming in with a very stressful lifestyle, whether it be kids, work, whatever it may be, and with how technology is nowadays, I've just found, especially here where we live, which is pretty much technology like capital, right? We're around Microsoft, Nintendo, Boeing, everyone's got a freaking smartphone. Maybe not as bad as San Francisco, but technology will definitely interrupt a lot of our resting patterns, right? Even if it's just chilling out. For a lot of people I see chilling out at the beach or on the couch, they're still on their freaking smartphone. So that adds a bit of an element to stress. And to combat stress, you want a 5-pound kettlebell, right? Just do these one-arm curls with it. And then you can do these halos. Just kidding. Okay, off topic. Sophia made me do it. Okay, anyways. So going back to the default advice, 3 times a week you want to work up to, just so we can see if you can guarantee that you're recovering appropriately. So we like to say, or the advice we like to give nowadays is that we want to give it about 48 hours between workouts. Again, that's for beginner advice, or maybe even someone who is attempting to restart but has some lifting experience. For those people, we don't want them to just come right out of the gates and go hard, even if they know they've done it before. Now, if you've been working out at least 6 months or more, got somewhat of a solid routine going on, we want you moving pretty much every day. And it doesn't have to be weightlifting, but the fact of moving every day is huge for the body, huge for releasing endorphins. We always say that exercise is medicine for the mind and the body, for the simple fact that it releases the feel-good hormones. And you can't really beat that, to be honest with you. And what ends up happening a lot of times in observation is that when you are working out more or just moving more, you'll start to realize that, gosh, I don't have energy on that hike like I would in my typical workout. So then it makes you start looking at nutrition with the way that you used to not look at it, right? And then it in a way pretty much forces you to address that and start making better choices. So I'll shut up now and I'll have Sophia put in her 2 cents, and so now she gets the kettlebell.
Alright, my 2 cents about how often to work out.
Yeah.
So, I know personally I like to push myself maybe a little too hard, and which can in turn cause stress, but that's a whole other subject. For me, I think I definitely agree with the moving every day, and especially if you have a sedentary job, even just getting up every hour, walking around a little bit, stretching, gets your body moving, your blood flowing, is better than just sitting down by the computer, on your bed, whatever it may be. But as far as weight training, I know that when I try and push myself harder than I need to, it ends up working against me, and I then want to take a whole week off, which, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. So I think finding a balance with weight training and then just staying active is a key thing, because a lot of people think I need to work out every day, meaning I need to go to the gym for an hour every day and lift heavy weights. That's not necessarily what it is. You can take an active rest day a couple times a week, go on a hike, go on a walk, go on a jog, but making sure you find that balance that's maintainable so that you don't overly stress yourself and then end up losing all the results that you worked for. And if you're going to spend an hour in the gym and lifting heavy weights, you want it to be going towards something. So, 3-4 times a week, really pushing yourself hard, and then using the other 3 times a week to keep your body going, but also letting it recover, and then that way optimizing your results.
Yes, and again, we just wanted to bring this topic up to follow up on a newsletter that we wrote earlier this week about how famous, former professional baseball player Cal Ripken set a record, a 17-year record, like 2,600 plus games that he never missed, and he was considered the Iron Man. And in that interview that we shared, he talks about how he just made a decision to attempt to move, even if maybe he wasn't feeling good or whatever it may be, just to see how it would go. And then, 5 minutes, 10 minutes goes by, and then he's feeling better, and he can just continue on that process. And that's where we refer to exercise as medicine. Once you start moving, it takes as little as 90 seconds for those hormones to kick in, and really just make you feel good and want to do more, and maybe even make you want to go ahead and start breaking a real sweat and going for it, right? Because a lot of times we'll get lazy and make excuses or good stories that, I'm not really feeling it. But did you try, right? It's just a matter of making a decision to try and see how it goes. I mean, obviously, if you're bedridden and it's really obvious that you shouldn't be working out, then yes, take that time to rest, because that's your body's check engine light. That's just a red light. Your body's giving you a signal to say, yeah, I need to rest. And for those of you that know what I'm talking about, you'll have days where it's like, wow, I am not doing anything. I am just going to sleep because my body needs it, right? But on other days, if we can see if is it just a mindset thing, or is it really a time to rest? If we can just push the limits a little bit to find out if it's a mindset thing, then that's what we're encouraging, to work up to doing some kind of movement every day. Another reason why we wrote the new Mission Metabolic Report, which the link to that is in the description section of this video. So if you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check that out, because it's a great report for you guys. We talk about certain workout sins that a lot of people are committing nowadays, especially when it comes to non-supportive exercise. What else? I think that's pretty much it.
Well, I know, just to touch on that just move thing, there have been many times where I'm like, maybe I just don't feel very good today, I'm kind of tired, I'm not going to work very hard anyway, so I'm not going to go to the gym. On the days that I have just said, you know what, I'm just going to try, because it's important to remember you always have the power to stop. So nothing's going to happen if you just try 1 minute of whatever it's going to be, and then 8 times out of 10 you're going to be like, that's not great, and I want to keep going, so I'm glad I came. The other 2 times you're going to be like, nope, I was right, I need to just chill for a little bit. And then you have 100% of the power to walk away and listen to yourself, but there's no reason to not at least attempt it, because there's no one's going to force you to keep going if you don't feel good. But you'll always feel better knowing that you tried.
Anything else you want to add? Nope. Cool. So that is episode 2 of Gym Talk. maybe we'll call this part treadmill talk, right? Because I got my Power Ranger band on. We'll talk about that later on, but let's see if you can earn one. Hint, hint. All right, talk to you guys later.